Good day, it's another time with me. My name is Angelo, and this is Nation Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Now, I had an information coming to my table few minutes ago, and this information is an expose on the Bola Tinubu government. All right. Now, let us deviate from Bola Tinubu himself. Let's touch one of his ministers. Yes, I am touching one of his ministers because this woman was instrumental to the embezzling of millions of naira just within few days. That means her appointment as minister had a personal objective to be achieved by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Betta Edu, yes, Betta Edu is one person, Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, that ministry, right? So in this particular expose, let me bring in Betta Edu and then Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This expose, I will be telling you how the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government allegedly mobilized public funds meant for Nigerian people, funds meant for the good people of Nigeria, people who are suffering, people who are less privileged, people who are not privileged to feed three times, people who are suffering from the economic crunch. How the Bola Tinubu's government allegedly used the funds meant for Nigerians to buy votes. Not during the election, no. To buy votes in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states respectively. When I call these three states, you should be able to know and deduce the election I am talking about. Yes, the by-elections that took place in December or November, let me say. Yes, in November. Now, that off-cycle elections was seen like any other election, but it was marred by irregularities, brutality, and electoral violence. We did not see the part where only APC won 2 states out of the 3. Bayelsa State lost to the APC. Bayelsa State lost to the PDP. APC in Bayelsa State lost to the PDP because the governor in that state was incumbent. So he did not allow everything to chance or anything to chance. Now, we will be seeing how the Bola Tinubu's government allegedly mobilized public funds to fund vote buying in these 3 states. Under the camouflage, they used one particular style to launder the money so that we wouldn't understand. But we are wise enough. At least Nigeria is filled with lots of graduates at home and abroad. So we are wiser now. They used this camouflage under the camouflage of grants for less privileged Nigerians through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, where Mrs. Betta Edu is the minister. So I will tell you secrets that have been embedded before the elections and during the elections. Billions, millions of naira were mobilized to these states, but there were no eyebrows rose or risen or raised because these funds were disbursed under a particular camouflage, under a particular strategy, under a particular guise. Please, I will show you documents, proofs that would really show you that this money was laundered, this money was stolen, with the aim, under the objective of vote buying in Imo State, Bayelsa State, and Kogi State, respectively. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, held governorship elections in Imo State, Kogi, and Bayelsa states, respectively, on November 11, 2023. Documents exclusively obtained by lots of sources show how the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, moved over 226,188,500 naira to Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo states, respectively, through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation ahead of the November 11, 2023 governorship elections. In the election characterized by irregularities including vote buying, thuggery, and pre-recorded results, APC candidates were declared victorious in Imo and Kogi states, while the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and their candidate, who was an incumbent governor of Bayelsa State, secured re-election. However, documents obtained by sources show that the funds were moved to the states on November 4th and 6th respectively in the name of providing palliatives for indigent and underprivileged people. But government sources told our own source that the funds were mobilized to the state days before the elections to buy votes under the cover of catering for vulnerable people there. It was all a ruse to buy votes for the APC and their candidates in the elections, using the program for vulnerable people as cover. That was why the events were done a few days before the governorship elections in these three states. A breakdown of the disbursement of the funds shows that 72,374,500 naira was moved to Kogi State on November 6, 2023 through the Director of Finance's account, National Social Investment Agency, just 5 days before the governorship election. Also on November 6th, the ministry approved and moved 72,423,250 naira to Bayelsa State under the ministry's 2023 grant for vulnerable groups programs. On November 3rd, 2023, a total of 81,390,750 naira was moved to Imo State under the same guise of providing grants to vulnerable groups just 7 days before the governorship election. According to the documents, as seen on the screen, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, personally approved the moving of the funds to the three states. On October 31st, 2023, the Nigerian House of Representatives summoned Betta Edu to brief the chamber on the status of the federal government's conditional cash transfer program to 15 million households. In a motion of urgent public importance, the House expressed concern over the handling of the program, citing a lack of transparency and alleged fraudulent practices. The lawmakers asked the minister to provide details on the collation of data and the distribution of funds. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu launched the Conditional Cash Transfer Program in October as part of his efforts to address poverty and vulnerability in the country. The program aims to provide monthly cash transfers to 25,000 naira worth of cash to each of the 15 million beneficiary households for 3 months. The invitation of the minister by the House comes amid reports of irregularities in the program's implementation, including allegations that some beneficiaries had been excluded while others had been paid multiple times. For the three states, the respective internal memos were from the National Program Manager Grant for Vulnerable Groups and addressed to the Honorable Minister, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. For Bayelsa State, the memo dated November 6, 2023 has at its subject matter the disbursement under the 2023 Grant for Vulnerable Groups Programs in Bayelsa State 2023. For Imo State, the subject matter of the internal memo reads, Flag off of the disbursement under the Grant for Vulnerable Groups Programs in Imo State, 4th November 2023. 3,500 beneficiaries in Imo State were billed to receive 20,000 each, amounting to 70 million naira, while 3,000 beneficiaries in Kogi State stood to receive 20,000 naira each. However, efforts to reach the minister failed as she did not answer calls from our sources. She also did not reply to text messages sent to her mobile line by sources. Alright, Betta Edu there with the strong plan. You know, when Betta Edu was enlisted as one of the ministerial nominees, I did not panic. You know why? I brought updates. You could go to my formal videos or my old videos. I gave you updates on the reason why Betta Edu was selected as a ministerial nominee, as at the time. Now, coming from Cross River State, there was a link that Betta Edu was brought to the ministerial list for a purpose. She's not only serving a purpose of, funding other people who were instrumental to her emergence as minister, but she is there with the sole aim of playing ball. Playing ball would mean giving a very, very suitable platform for millions and millions of naira to be laundered through her ministry. Evidently, this is barely 6 to 5 months she took office, or she became a minister, and over 70 to, let me not say 70, let me bring all of them together cumulatively, over 400 million naira has gone down the drain. Can you now see the reasons why these ministers were brought on board? There are reasons for everything in federal government, alright? So, no wonder Betta Edu was chosen, even despite her controversial emergence from Cross River State. She was still chosen as a minister for humanitarian affairs. That ministry is one ministry that has no prying eyes. Hence, they want to use that particular ministry to launder funds. If you notice, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government doesn't really launder funds physically. They use different ways and camouflaged platforms to draw these funds away in order to, deviate from prying eyes. They use trips abroad, they use summits abroad, they use ministries that have no prying eyes on them, they use lots of parastatals. I brought you an update about the National Content Development Agency, Nigerian Content Development Agency. These are the kind of parastatals they plan to use to launder millions of naira into their personal pockets for personal use. Now, I would love to say categorically here that you saw documents that were showing you proofs that these monies were disbursed. Now, if they are of the opinion that these funds were disbursed to well-meaning Nigerians for the particular reason or for the particular use it was meant for, then we would love them to show us, or would love to see those Nigerians that benefited from these funds in these states. Please. That's number one. Number two, why was it these 3 states? What was happening in Bayelsa State that needed funds to be disbursed to less privileged Nigerians? What was happening in Imo State that needed funds to be disbursed? What was happening in Kogi State? In fact, at the time of this disbursement, states that needed money more were the northern states, where there was high level of insurgency. The southeastern states, where lots of people were being killed under misunderstanding between the federal government and the masses, as well as other states that had more crisis than these states that were in this particular list. So, the federal government have nothing to say about this. I challenge them to come out and debunk this, if it's true. If it's not true, okay, yes. So next on the list of my updates, did you know that there is serious trouble looming in this country, Nigeria? This trouble is so bad that nobody is saying it's coming. It is so sad, very sad, that we all know our country is doomed, yet we pray deaf ears and we play blind eyes. We pay deaf ears and we play blind to these very heinous occurrences, these heartbreaking issues that are eating up our country gradually. If you want to know what I'm talking about, watch the next video coming on your screens. This man talking here is from the north, and he is one of the members of the governing council of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. What this man is saying in this video will shock you. But I will tell you what, don't be shocked, because more of what this man is saying will still happen if Bola Tinubu continues to become the president of Nigeria.
It is a colonial language, but we actually been requested to say something because there are some other people here who are so much interested in what we said. Our topic is the issue of corruption as far as leadership in Nigeria is concerned. I expressed my own understanding. I said corruption does not spare any other country. And the human being, as you see him, as long as you don't implement the rules and the regulations of the country, don't think you can stop him. Human being can turn into anything. Sometimes he can even become animalistic. He even kills in pursuit of his own interest. It's universal, it's all over the world. That is why you find the world in crisis today. In Nigeria, you can really see somebody whose salary is not more than 300 naira a month. You find him having many houses, many cars, and everything. Nobody can believe what recently happened. A former accountant general of the Federation in Nigeria, who is accused and before the court of law for stealing over 109 billion naira, was last 3 weeks turbaned by the emir of Kano in Kano, great celebrations, and the people were celebrating what actually was not in our character. This is something entirely new to us. You can't believe this. People claim that Nigeria has no money. Nigeria has money, but Nigeria has mismanagement. The leaders are not sensitive. National Assembly is not sensitive at all. And not only that, if care is not taken, future elections will be very, very difficult to be conducted in Nigeria. You queue up, you vote. At the end of the day, the final decision will be taken by a number of few people at the tribunal. You move for appeal, then you move even to the Supreme Court. And for every stage you go, it is expenditure. I assure you, expenditure of the lawyers and the others. And not only that, every part of Nigeria today is soiled. The ordinary voters are affected. People who are conducting elections affected, INEC people affected. You can't believe this. And even our malams are affected. As long as we don't use our laws, we don't take care, we don't punish those who are offenders, then only God knows where Nigeria is moving to. We blame the bandits every day. Why do we blame them? They risk their lives. The what of these people in government houses well protected, but looting treasury every day. And when we see them, we almost worship them, we praise them, we sing about them, we dance for them, we create drama for them. This was not the culture of Sokoto Caliphate. This was not the culture of Sokoto Caliphate. Somebody came here and they met Muhammad Bello during his own time. He couldn't believe that was the Caliph. He said, I'm looking for the Caliph. He said, this is the Caliph. He said, no, you can't be the Caliph. He said, I'm the Caliph. What we were told is during the government work, they use the government light. Then during their private work, they use their private things. How do we expect Nigeria to move forward? And we don't blame ourselves, including myself, university lecturer, doesn't attend the lectures, is always busy following politicians, becoming the scribe of politicians, waiting for? No, hand out. Something is really wrong. We have to think. I can't believe this. How can somebody justify to me and tell me that 500 cows being moved, nobody will trace their steps, no dust, and they disappear? And you tell me former director, NSO another, former director, NSA another, former NSA another, director of military intelligence, former another. Yet something is wrong.
Yeah, you know, bigger trouble looms in Nigeria, but no one is seeing it coming. Bigger trouble is coming. Bigger waves, bigger typhoons, bigger cyclones are blowing, coming. Bigger, wider, and more brutal tornadoes are flying and coming into Nigeria. but nobody is seeing them. What that man said in that video is a tip of the iceberg. We all will act as if we all know what is happening, but I tell you what, you don't have the slightest idea of what is happening in Nigeria. This is the tip of the iceberg. But I would urge us all to stay put and walk in accordance to what we believe and what we feel is the right thing to do. Governance and political stability is the beginning of good things to come in Nigeria. Finally, something has been trending in Nigeria for, let's say, 72 hours now. I didn't talk about it because I wanted to know how true and how far it has eaten deep into Nigeria. But I'm not surprised. Do you know what this is? Certificate racketeering. Yes, certificate racketeering. The issue of certificate racketeering has been on the rise. But I'm not surprised because the man at the top there is also somebody who is a beneficiary of certificate racketeering. You know who I'm talking about. His own case was elaborate. Still, nobody saw it coming. Why would we then blame up to 15,000 students for being involved in certificate racketeering when the most important and the highest seat in the land is occupied by somebody who bagged a degree via certificate racketeering? You know, sometime few days ago, an investigative journalist went into investigation to one of the schools outside Nigeria in Africa, and he saw that he ended up bagging a degree in 6 months. He served, did his NYSC, and came up. It was an investigative venture which he succeeded in concluding that these institutions outside Nigeria, in Africa though, Benin Republic and Togo to be precise, were actually issuing out certificates without following the stipulated rules. So I'll be showing you in the next video why I think, not that I'm advocating or supporting certificate racketeering, no. Understand where I'm coming from. I am of the opinion that there should be thorough investigation into those involved in certificate racketeering. Is either we speak to their countries for those schools to be shut down, or delve into these particular students' records and see those who were actually beneficiaries of this certificate racketeering, not cancelling 15,000 records of students. No, that's bad. Now, I would love to say here that the Nigerian federal government has suspended the accreditation of degrees from Benin Republic and Togo, to be precise. Is that the best thing to do at this point? Is that the best thing to do? I have somebody in the next video, Professor Victor Ariole. Professor Victor Ariole is a professor of European languages and integration studies in University of Lagos. The view of this professor is awesome. He believes something different from what the federal government thinks. Please stay tuned.
Seriously, I disagree with just like lawyers will say, why should you because of one person you punish 99 people? There must be a selective process. Go into their records. Those who are found culpable, bring them out and punish them. Not because one person did something wrong, or if there are 15,000, definitely just like the Nigerian case, there wouldn't be the whole 15,000 people who are involved in this criminal issue. So you should not punish everybody because you discover one university or one institution is creating problem. It is not done. It's against human rights. Completely against human rights.
All right, that was Prof. Ariole there. He was of the opinion that instead of cancelling the results and degrees of up to 15,000 students, there should be thorough investigation into these schools and the students' records. there must be students who actually exonerated themselves from this certificate racketeering issue. But I would always maintain that it's not a new thing, because the man at the top there is a beneficiary of certificate racketeering. So don't expect much from the country or from students coming from a country where the president is guilty of the same offense. Well, we wouldn't say much. Thank you so much for staying this far. I hope you enjoyed our updates. Please, I would love to urge you. I'm not seeing any comments in the comment section. Why? Are we getting bored already? Nah, we have lots of information for you. Drop those comments in the comment section. I want to see them coming, okay? I want to see them coming. Share this video to all social media platforms so it could go viral. Let them know what the federal government is doing with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, laundering money through parastatals and various agencies. Don't forget to watch till the end. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And if you have subscribed and you always watch my videos late, then you have to just do one thing. Tap the notification bell so that you always keep to the time I'm on air. See you next time. Bye.